All right, so this week what I want to do is I want to move forward with our marathon website that we've been creating using Code Igniter. So this is the website. Where we left off is we now have a login, and if I type in a username and a password and click the login button, it then authenticates me against a database, make sure I am who I say I am. And then what we did is we just redirected to this website, and that's it. None of these links work. As a matter of fact, if I click on any one of them, bad things happen. So what I want to do is I just want to tighten up this back end a little bit. And let me quick log in again. I just want to tighten this back end up a little bit and take a look at some of the templates that have been created for us, and then see which ones we can utilize and which ones we're not going to use at all. So I'm going to start by just going into my PHP store. We installed CodeIgniter inside the sites. If I go to my applications, I'm going to start just with the views. I want to clean these views up. If you remember, we did one page, which was the home page. We made that into a PHP page. And then what we did is we created a little helper that was our asset URL that would return our base asset. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename each one of these. If you right click and then go to refactor, and then there's a rename. Otherwise, it's a Shift F6. And for right now, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to rename the whole thing. So right now, h.html is not selected. I'm just going to do a Control A, and I'm just going to make it 1.php. So all of the HTMLs, I'm just going to rename. Now, you don't want to rename the home.php because that one is currently there and working. So I'm just going to go to .php and so on. So I'm just going to quick rename all of these. That way we can start working on it. Eventually I'll give them better names, but for right now I don't know what any of these even look like. So I just want to be able to browse them and see if they're anything that I want to use. Okay, so I've got the other templates all renumbered, and now they're PHP. Just because they're PHP does not mean they're going to work right. So the thing we need to do is add in that asset URL. So one note here is there's like 1, 2, 3 links. There may be more links depending on what they're all doing in these templates, but for the most part, all your CSS stuff will be at the top. And then if I take this scroll bar and move all the way down to the bottom, I'll have a couple JavaScripts down towards the bottom. So I'm just going to take the asset URL from my home.php page, because that one was working. Oops, I didn't mean to cut it. I just mean to copy it. So home was working, and then I'm just going to work my way down. So I'm going to start with 1. So I see like just a relative path going to CSS. Right in front of that, I'm just going to paste in my asset URL. So I've got another one. Okay, so the rest of those are all good. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to get my JavaScript. And I may not get all of them. It may not be perfect, and then I'm going to save it. But I'm going to do the best I can here. Just go to the tab. Grab my CSS. Got to make sure I'm within the double quotes. Save it. Not sure why that has such a weird relative path, but that's definitely not right. Ooh, yeah, quite a bit of JavaScript on this one. So basically I'm just looking for like the source where it's a JS or it's like a CSS. Any one of the folders that are in the asset library. The font awesome's in there. And just for those of you that are not exactly sure what I'm talking about, a couple weeks ago we did create this asset folder, and in there we've got folders. We've got a CSS, font awesome, fonts, images, JavaScript. Yeah, so some of those images I would imagine probably won't be coming down. Okay, so I just finished 4. I'm going to save that. So basically what I want to find is I want to find some pages that have like a grid style, because I want to be able to list off each one of the marathons. So we're going to have like a marathon page, an ad page. So I want to have something with like a fill-in form, something like that, because we're going to need to be able to like add in new marathons, new races. Same with like adding runners to races, so I need something that's got like text boxes and stuff like that. And then a grid that looks nice, that way we can display all the races and maybe even hopefully have them color coded, because you know some of them will end and maybe those can be red, some of them will be happening that day that we're looking at it, so maybe those will be green. So we can start kind of looking at that, but we got to first see if we have anything that's usable. If not, then we're just going to have to roll our own and create it, and that's okay too. Okay, so at this point, I think all my templates should be good. Now I can't just browse directly to them because it's not the way it works. I have to load my views through my controller. So I'm going to go up to my admin controller. Okay, so we've got our home here. So what I'm going to do let's look at our website here. All right, so here's our dashboard. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for right now, just going to put a 1 in here. I'm going to save that. And then I'm just going to refresh. Okay, so this is the 1 data. Okay, so we do have some table stuff going on here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to switch this over to 2. I'm just going to create a function here. Just going to save that. So it goes site, then it goes admin, /view. That's the new controller we just put in. Alright, this will help. Okay, so this is going to be, alright, so this looks good. Alright, so one of the pages, we're going to have it where we can get the registration form for our customers. So if I was a promoter, I would log into this site, and this would help me integrate like fill-in forms for my site, not this site, but like let's say I've got like I'm superrunner.com. I can come in here, generate a fill-in form, and then that would be displayed at superrunner.com or whatever it is. So this may actually be useful for something like that. Okay, so that's one. There's a possibility there. Oh no, that's actually two. Let's see what one is. So if I just refresh. Okay, so one's a blank page. So if we just want a blank page, we can do that. All right, so two is a possibility. I'm just going to make a note here. So I'm going to go. I'm just going to go T2 for template 2. And then I think that's going to be like a registration form. Okay. And then one's blank. I don't know if I'm really going to need a blank. Hopefully I don't. If I can't find what I'm looking for, then we'll start with a blank and move there. Alright, so this one's number 3. Okay, so 3 is more of just an example of all of the different the layouts with the grid. So if the 12 is the entire 6, 6. So I mean, if you can do simple math, 6 plus 6 equals 12. 4 times 3 is 12, and so on. Alright, so that's the grid. I don't know if that's overly useful. That's really cool. Charts. Okay. I don't think we're going to do anything that complicated. So I don't know if I'm going to use that. It is pretty cool though. So this one's number 5. Ooh, this one would be a fill-in. So I'm going to say number 5 would probably be like add marathon or something like that. So I'm just going to do a T5. Add marathon. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. We're going to have to obviously do quite a bit of work, but it's a starting point. We've got text, we've got input boxes, and we can figure it out from there. Alright, this looks like maybe an example with it on the other side, or maybe I missed one of the links, but it doesn't look like anything I need. 7. All right, good, good, good. This is what I want. I want some type of grid that'll lay things out and maybe make it, we can click on it and edit it, or maybe make buttons to edit it. Ooh, we got colors. That's what I want. So yeah, this is going to be perfect. All right, so yeah, I can use this for quite a few of them. So 7. So I'm just going to go T7. And this would be something like, I'm just going to call it grid. Because we could use this for like listing all of the runners that have joined a marathon, all the marathons that have been, you know, put in. So, okay. So I'm just going to save this. And I think where I want to go is I want to start dealing with my dashboard. So this first link here is my dashboard. My dashboard, I want to make it this. So I'm going to actually steal this. This is going to be my dashboard. So number 7 is a view. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go up to my admin and then I'm going to paste it. Okay, so 7 is going to be called dashboard. All lowercase, everything's lowercase, so dashboard. Okay, so on my default controller, as soon as this comes up, it's going to go into the admin folder and it's going to load dashboard. I'm going to save that. So for right now, if I go straight into admin, hit enter, this is our dashboard. Cool, cool. Okay, so I'm going to start with kind of putzing around with the website a little bit. There's a lot of stuff in here to rip out. So the way I normally do it, like let's just deal with this header here. I'm going to call this header, I'm going to call this navigation, and then this is going to be my body. So if I right click, do my inspector, so I see an envelope with messages. We're not going to do any inner messaging. I don't care about that at all. I don't care about notifications. So I'm going to delete both of these. I do like the little login guy. All right. So when the user logs in, we can display their name, have that, hit the down arrow. Don't care about anything except for log out. They can log in, they can log out. Later on, if we wanted to, we could do that. But for right now, if we can get logged in, logged out, I'll be happy. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to click here. And I think I'm just going to figure out where this is. So I see a drop-down toggle. So I'm going to copy that. And basically, I just want to be able to go to the code here. So if I go to the dashboard, and if I do a Control F, it's going to open up my find, and if I paste that in there, it's going to get me close. You know, it's going to at least get me into the area. So at this point, I do see John Smith. I guess I could have searched for John Smith as well. So I got an idea where I'm at. A lot of stuff in here. So I'm going to get rid of my SQL for right now. So badge alert, badge alert. So this must be all of these things. So I see, yeah, badge alert, all different colors. So that's that. So we're just going to kind of pick it apart. And then here we've got message and message. It's kind of cool stuff. we've got a profile. I want to see if we can find my log out. So there's my alerts. If I keep scrolling down here, I see John Smith, profile, inbox, log out. Okay, so the good thing is it's just standard HTML. So, I mean, there's nothing magical here. It's an unordered list, basically a bulleted list that they're using CSS to clean up with. So I've got a list item that's my profile. All right, so that's this right here is my profile, my inbox, my settings, horizontal rule, and a log out. So what I'm going to do is, oh, I see they're not even using a horizontal rule, they're doing it through CSS. But anyways, they're all list items. So I'm going to get rid of the line all the way up to profile. So I'm just going to delete this out. So I have an unordered list that the only thing that's in here is my log out. So if I save this, come back over here, refresh. If I click on John Smith now, I only see log out. So that's good. So I know these guys are right around there. So I change a little bit, I test a little bit. I change a little bit, I test a little bit. If I mess something up, I can do a Control Z and undo it, save it, look at it, and then try again. Don't go and try to like change the whole thing and then preview it. Your life will really suck. I mean, you don't want to do that. You want to change a little bit and then look at it. So, okay, so I've got my drop down. So that's actually what I want here. So I'm going to click at the end of this list item, and then I'm going to scroll up. There's the beginning of it. So do you see how if I click on the closing one, it highlights the opening one? That's extremely helpful. And I can see these are all my alerts. So that's that little alert thing. So I'm just going to delete this. So I'm going to go up a little bit more here. So I've got another list item. There's my closing one. I'm going to scroll up. I see messages and stuff like that. So there's my opening one. So I see that this is the little envelope, the mail. So I'm going to delete all of this. So I'm holding down my shift and going to the opening. So I'm grabbing the opening and the closing. Hit the delete. Got a straggler. I'm going to delete it. Okay, so I've got my unordered list. It's a drop down. It's a user profile as the icon. User's name is John Smith, and I've got a log out. So if I save this and look at it, I'm going to refresh that. Now I only have John Smith there. So I got rid of everything else. I see John Smith, which eventually we can replace that. And I see log out, which is good. So on the header, I also have this here. So if I scroll up, there's my hamburger menu. There's my header. And I called my site Runmaster. And my href is going to home.php. That won't work. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go /site/admin. And that will take us right back here. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to refresh. Okay, so I've got my Runmaster. That should hit that, take it right back here. So that's all good. All right, so over here, I've got my dashboard and my chart, but I'm really on my tables. This is the table one. So I want to delete these, but I want to steal that icon and put it here. So what I'm going to do is, just because I don't exactly know where it's at, I'm going to look for the icon. Okay, so I've got a dashboard. I'm just going to search for that. This is the way I really do it. I just go through and start ripping it apart. Okay, so I see dashboard, charts, tables. I'm currently looking at tables, but I want to call it dashboard. So I'm going to take the dashboard, bring it down here. And my icon, I want dashboard. And right now it's a table, so it looks like a table. I'm just going to switch it over to dashboard. I'm going to save it. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to refresh. So now I see dashboard. So I'm not going to use any charts. I've already got my dashboard, so I'm going to delete both of those. So let's just get this menu kind of a little bit firmed up. All right, so they're just, again, list items. I mean, this has gotten really easy. So nothing special. I've got one list item, two list items. I'm going to delete them out. So now my very top entry should be my dashboard. So I'm going to save that. Again, check often, refresh it. Now my dashboard's at the top. Now, we have more pages, but for right now, I'm just going to start putting things in here. So we've got probably manage marathons. So our dashboard's going to be all of the marathons. Maybe it'll be like a grid showing like how many runners are in there and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a little wrench, and it's going to be manage marathon, and then I want to add a marathon. So if I want to add a new one, the pencil and paper, the form. All right, so that can be my add marathon. And then after add marathon, it's probably going to be like marathon or manage runners, and then registration form. So okay, so I got an idea here. So all right, so I've got my dashboard. My links right now, we'll figure that out later. I'm just going to try to figure out exactly what I want to do. All right. Manage marathon. Okay, so manage marathons, and that one's going to be the wrench. I don't want to forget about edit though, so I'm going to put edit below. I'm going to bring the wrench up. Okay, so manage marathon is going to be the wrench, and then add marathon. So that'll be a list of all of them. Then we can just add a new marathon, and that'll pop it into the list. So notice how they did a space, probably just to give a little bit of space between the icon and the text. So I'm going to do that too. All right, so I'm going to add a marathon, and then after the adding of a marathon, it's going to be manage runners. And that's going to be the wrench as well. So, and then I think got some drop down stuff going here. So I'm just going to save this. I'm just going to take a look at what I've got here. If I refresh this, dashboard's good, manage marathon's good, add marathon's good, manage runners. And I've got a drop down. I'm going to delete that. I don't want to drop down. I think the only thing I want to have left is my registration form, and I'm just going to have that be the blank piece of paper. So I'm going to delete that and delete that. Okay, so I've got a list item. You can always click on my opening tag, and then you can see you have a little red line here that's going to give me the grid all the way down, and then it highlights the closing one. So I hold the shift, go to the end. Now I didn't get all of the opening one, so I'm just going to do my delete and then get rid of the straggler. Okay, so this is the file. This one I called registration form. And then I'm just going to delete this one here. So I'm just going to save this. And then if I come over here, and if I refresh, Okay, so this is going to be my navigation here. This is going to be my main navigation. So I don't know if you guys remember, but early on we did includes where we had basically our header information and then we had our navigation information, and both of those were in separate include files. What I want to do is I want to do something similar here. In my views, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new folder in here. And I'm just going to call it include. Actually includes, so I'm going to have more than one. And I'm just going to create 2 PHP files. And I'm just going to call it menu.php. And I'm going to call it header. .php. Okay, so got to figure out where this all begins and ends. So I've got an unordered list here. So I am going to go, so here's my opening div tag that makes the navigation collapsible, and then there's my closing div tag, and all of this is inside my nav bar here. So I'm just going to go to the beginning of the comment above it. I'm going to hold down my shift key and go to the comment below it, and I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to do a Control X just to snip that out. I'm going to go over into my menu and I'm going to paste that in there. I'm just going to save that. Okay, so my menu stuff is here. So I'm going to go back over here and I have another UL. I'm going to scroll up here. So this is John Smith, the right, navigation, run masters, that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right below this, or right behind it. I'm going to go all the way up to the top of the comment here. So I'm at the beginning of my navigation, and I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to go into my header, and then I'm going to paste that. Then I'm going to save. So now I've got my header and my menu outside of the navigation. So at this point, I'm just going to create a PHP block. And if we take a look at like our home or our admin or whatever, we've got this load view. We can do exactly the same thing. This load of a view inside an actual page. So if I go back over to my dashboard, my navigation is really made up of two things. I've got my header and I've got my navigation. So first thing I need to do is tell it the folder includes. And then the first one is going to be header, because the header was ahead of the navigation. And then I've got my includes, and then this is going to be my menu. So if I save this, and I take a look at it, hopefully we don't get errors. No errors, so I'm going to call that good. So at this point, we've got this in an include folder in our views, and same with this. So we can now start to put this on more pages. So this is our dashboard. So the next one is going to be our marathons. So I'm just going to call it Manage Marathons. So this, okay, so I'm going to for right now, I'm going to close my dashboard. I'm going to keep my main, my admin area open, and my menu open. And then my header here, I'm going to close that for now. Okay, so we've got our dashboard, which is the default index. So the index automatically will load dashboard first. So then the next one is manage marathons. So I'm just going to keep it consistent here. Manage marathons is going to be the name of my next function. So here's my function. I threw a view in there that we used early on. I'm just going to paste that. Now here's the rule. Can't have spaces, manage marathon, so if it's a space it needs an underscore. And I don't like caps. I'm just going to get rid of the caps, and it's just going to be lowercase, manage marathons. And then we said the grid is going to be T7, is the template 7. So manage marathons. I'm going to take my view, back over to my views. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. And this is going to be manage underscore marathons. That way it'll keep me somewhat organized. So I'm just going to close this. We have more work to do on all of these. But now manage marathons function is going to load the manage marathons page. Okay, so then the next one is going to be add marathons, or add marathon. So I'm going to do the same exact thing here. It's going to create a public function here. And I'm going to call it add marathon. And again, no spaces, and a lowercase m and a lowercase a, add marathon. Alright, so the add marathon is going to be 5. 5 is going to be our fill-in. So I'm going to go to 5, I'm going to copy it, go to the folder, I'm going to paste it, and I'm just going to call it add marathon underscore. Remember, no caps. Try to stay as disciplined as you can. So I'm going to save that. Just going to close it for now. We're going to go in here and clean this all up. And then this is going to be called add marathon. Copy it. Okay, so then the next one we do is after add marathon, it's going to be manage marathon. That should be manage marathons, that's good, or manage runners. Okay, so then this one should be our fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Manage runners. So that's going to be a grid as well. So if it's going to be a grid, it's going to be a 7. So I'm just going to copy the 7 for now. I'm going to paste it. Copy this. Okay, and then the next one on our list is going to be registration form. And again, I could name these things anything. I'm just doing it for convention. And it just helps keep everything organized. Okay, so my registration form. Okay, registration, I said T2. So number 2, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. Oops. Registration form. Okay, so at this point, in the real world, I'd probably delete all of this, including the home. But for right now, I'm just going to leave everything just because we're not done yet and we may use it. Normally, I'd do that later. But at this point, I do think we've got our home, our marathons. So we've got a lot more work to do just to get the navigation going. But at least we've got some of the user interfaces kind of picked out, and we've got a little bit of the beginning of the navigation going. So if I go to manage marathons, because that method's there, if I go admin / manage _ marathons, that page pops up. Now, obviously, we've got more to do. And registration form is the other. If I go here, registration form. So you can see we're pulling stuff up, we're moving around. We've got some of the basic elements down. For right now, I'm just going to hold off, and then we'll pick up in the next video just tightening up our navigation so we can click through here.